Folks, if you need some new camouflage, don't look any farther than ASIO gear. They have a great line of products that covers everything you could possibly need at a very reasonable price, especially if you use that code ECHO15 that they offer all of our listeners. And if you're worried about it, the stuff got a lifetime warranty, so if something goes wrong with it, they replace it, no questions asked. Go over to ASIOgear.com and check them out. If you need some new broadheads, you ought to check out Razor Broadheads. They have an awesome, dependable head that is tough as nails. I've used them for the last 3 years, and the wound channel that these broadheads leave has been really impressive to me. They're super sharp, super accurate, and they offer 20% off if you use the code BTE. So go over to razorbroadheads.com and get you some new broadheads. And then Stealth Outdoors. Hey, if you're not using stealth strips, you're not trying. Get your gear silenced with stealth strips. And then the product's not that expensive anyway, but if you use code BTE10, you get another 10% off. Now, just because it's not expensive doesn't mean it's not good quality stuff. This is the best silencing material on the market, hands down. Go over to stealthoutdoors.com. Hey, and then you got to have some saddle gear that you can use with your stealth strips. The guys over at Latitude make all kinds of great products, and right now on their website, they're offering 20% off everything. Their Method 2 saddle is actually 30% off. And then if you get over there and the sale's over or something, you're listening to this later on, use your code BTE and you go ahead and get 15% off everything. Go over to latitudeoutdoors.com if you need any saddle hunting gear. And finally, a new partner for the show, Hawke Optics. Listen, if you're in the market and you need some new optics, these guys offer a great product at an affordable price. They're also offering everybody 15% off if you use the code BTE. They got a line of everything you would need in all different price points, from rangefinders to binocular rangefinders to spotting scopes to all different types of rifle scopes and even some red dots. So go over to hawkeoptics.com and check them out. Use that code BTE, save you 15%. All my partners are in the description below. Go check them out. All right, let's get to the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Got the repeat guest tonight. Johnathan Moreland's back on. How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. Appreciate you having me back.
Oh, yeah. Anytime, dude. I enjoy talking to you. I like your style. So,
well, it's definitely changed a lot over the years, for sure. I like it all. So try new things, and yeah.
How was your turkey season this year?
Man, it was good. It was I didn't get out there as much as I like to, but got to go down to Mississippi and hunted with some buddies down there. We hunted some public down there and had a really good opening weekend. My buddy killed a bird Saturday and Sunday of the opener. And then I actually didn't draw the public land permit, but I went down there to hunt and just be a part of the hunt and call and stuff, which, I still had to buy a license and all that to do that. But anyway, we had a really good weekend. And then I got to go back one more time. One day was really rainy, didn't hear much, and then had a really good hunt the next morning, but just couldn't close the deal on. Had a bird gobbling pretty good, but then I had to get back to work pretty quick, so I kind of had to leave him, and then didn't get a chance to go back down there. And then Arkansas was good. The gobbling wasn't great on the few hunts that I got to go, but I did manage to scratch a few birds out, my 2 birds out in Arkansas. I hunted Indiana. Had a really good hunt in Indiana. Didn't kill a bird, but if you could figure out a way to mess it up, I figured out a way every single day. I think I hunted 3 days up there, and we should have killed a bird every day, but just the luck was not with us for sure. I mean, we got really close every single time, but it's actually not over for me. I'm actually leaving tomorrow. I've got a buddy in Michigan, and he's been trying to get me to come up there, and I'm actually going to go up and hunt this weekend with him, and that'll be it for turkey season. So maybe I can get a Michigan bird this weekend.
There you go. There's a lot of them up there.
That's what I hear. So I'm excited to get up there, and I've never stepped foot in Michigan ever. So I'll be, excited just to go somewhere new and look at something different.
Yeah, that state up there is a different culture, different atmosphere when it comes to hunting. It's a cool place if you're a hunter.
Yeah. He told me this morning we were going to have like 60-degree highs Saturday. So
it's nice.
That's nice compared to what the temps are down there in Arkansas. So
yeah. My buddy Dave lives up there, and he was messaging me today on Marco or whatever, Marco Polo app. It's like a FaceTime app, and he had like a sock cap on and sweatshirt. I'm like, man, different weather up there, huh?
Yeah, I was actually packing up hoodies earlier, so I felt kind of weird packing up hoodies down there. It's almost 85, 90 degrees down here. So but no, I'm excited about it. So it'll be a quick trip just for the weekend, but I don't know, we'll see. Might get lucky.
Yeah. Their season kind of opens late too. I don't think doesn't it open in sometime in early May?
Yeah, I'm not too fluent with their season, but I think it's actually certain areas, maybe into June, maybe. I'm not sure. But anyway, it'll definitely be my last hunt of the year for sure.
Yeah.
And then after this, my flip will switch, and I'll probably start thinking about deer a little bit after this last little turkey hunt. So
same. Mine's already switched.
It's getting close, man. It's not far away.
Yep. I didn't hunt turkeys very hard. I shot one down in Tennessee, and then up here we got this big flood right before. All the turkey hunting ground that I can hunt around my house here is flood ground. It's like low area in the bottoms, and it was all underwater the week before turkey season, and I had all kinds of turkeys. I thought, man, it's going to be a good year for turkeys around here, and they that pushed them all out of the area, and they just never came back. And I just started fishing and didn't put a whole lot of effort into going to find them and finding the birds where they were at. And
we run into the same thing. The Mississippi River, a lot of the ground I can hunt down here flooded also. So same situation to the T. Most of our stuff was underwater the entire turkey season. So, we hunted some different areas, but we had a couple of really good hunts. Like I say, I did get my 2 birds. One bird gobbled really good, had a really good hunt with him, and then the other one actually he come in silent. Actually, 2 of them come in silent, so not a lot of action with him. But a lot of people tell you they don't like to deer hunt turkeys, but I like to hunt turkeys any way I can hunt them. So if I have to hunt them and they're silent, that's fine with me. I just like to get out there. So
yeah, we only get 3 weekends here in Indiana, so it's like. Sometimes it takes a little bit, and then I called one in for a buddy opening weekend, killed him. So I had a good season. I mean, I saw some birds die, but I just after that I didn't put the effort in.
Okay, so you're in Indiana, so I was shocked up there. Y'all have got definitely a lot more birds than we've got for sure.
I mean,
we heard 3 to 4 birds. A morning, probably. We hunted 3 mornings. One morning we didn't hear but 1, but it was pretty good hunt. Pretty good hunt we had.
Well, we're a 1 bird state.
Yep, that helps.
Like deer, we're a 1 buck state.
Now, y'all had some pressure, man. We were.
Yes, the pressure in turkey season this year was good. I mean,
we run into people everywhere.
Good, bad, whatever you want to say. It was for a lot of people.
Yeah, we run into people everywhere, but it was a good time, man. We run into people from Mississippi, all over the place. Yeah, so.
Oh, the farmers around here were telling me, I go to church with a bunch of them. They're like, golly, man. He goes, I've gotten asked for turkey permission more this year than I have ever gotten. I'm like, yeah, it seems like a lot of people are hunting them this year.
Yep.
But, all right. Stop talking about turkeys. People want to hear about deer hunting now. So you tell me about this spear, man, and like what sparked your interest in killing a deer with a spear? And start from ground zero with it for me, because I'm interested in this.
The whole spear deal started, I guess. I mean, so I love to bow hunt. I'm a big traditional bow hunter, so I love to get as close as I can. I love that challenge of trying to get close. And not to make this a super long story with the spear, I've been interested in it the last 4 or 5 years, I guess, but it's obviously it wasn't legal here in Arkansas. So I did talk to quite a few people in the commission, and they were kind of entertaining the idea, and then got connected with the right people and some guys that are really passionate about hunting and trying to open up new opportunities for hunters, and really helped and get the ball rolling. And next thing you know, it was really being talked about to be legalized in Arkansas. And actually, we got in contact with Tim Wells, and Tim actually was a big help in getting it legalized in Arkansas. He come down and gave a big speech and everything, and it went really well. And man, the next thing you know, this last season, to make a long story short, yeah, they agreed to legalize a spear as a legal weapon in Arkansas. And it started. Arkansas actually had a velvet buck hunt this year, which was also new, early season velvet hunt. And the start of that hunt was this last season was the first year that you could use a spear as a legal weapon in Arkansas. So, and to be honest with you, I really wanted to try to be the first guy to do it. I was really hoping I could. And actually, Tim was down that weekend hunting with a mutual friend, and I couldn't hunt that weekend. And I was just kind of ragging him like, man, I hope you don't kill one. I hope I beat you to the punch, you know. And he actually didn't have any luck. And then there was a guy, I think he was out of Southwest Arkansas, but he was a younger guy. But man, he killed a really nice deer, velvet buck, with his spear. So he was the first one to get it done. He killed that deer on that velvet hunt. And then it took me, like I said, I didn't get to hunt the velvet hunt. But then the first day of bow season, I hunted for, I can't remember the exact date I killed that deer, but I hunted about 3 to 3.5 weeks with a spear before I was finally able to make, everything work out perfect and get it done. But to kind of go back to how it all started, I got to give my shout out to my good buddy Jason James. We kind of talked, and we thought it'd be cool to build our own spears.
Mm-hmm.
So Jason's really good in the shop, and we got to back there brainstorming one day, and we started playing around with a bunch of stuff, and make a long story short, we ended up building a couple, or I'm gonna say Jason did 90% of it, out of just 1/2-inch rebar, about 7 foot long, and a piece of flat steel, and made us a blade out of it and welded it together, and there's our spear. So
that's what you end up using.
Yep, I killed 2 deer with a homemade rebar spear. And
so back up here. What time frame was this? Like, when did your guys' season start? When did you start building them and like practicing with it and stuff?
So our season opened, I believe last year's like the 28th or 29th of September, actually. And we started building them about a week before season, or Jason did. And I started practicing with them. Actually, it's probably a week and a half or so. And I started practicing with it every day, but it didn't take long. So we built them. They're really heavy. So, like, to talk about Tim Wells' spear, his is probably 5 or 6 times lighter than the ones we built. Ours are, quite a bit heavier. So when I got to practicing with it, I was actually surprised at how well, it threw really well from short distance. Obviously, you're trying to get the deer exactly, right under you. Yeah. So I was pretty proficient with it within a week, out to about 5-6 yards. I was 100% confident that I could, get it done. And it ended up, it took a while. I guess the biggest challenge in it was trying to get a deer straight under you that didn't wind you and just was going to be able, where you could get away with it. And obviously here in Arkansas, it is legal to bait. And I did have one property that I was allowed to bait on, and I strictly just baited on it to try to get a deer under me to spear. And it was a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be, for sure.
Were you picky with deer, or were you going to shoot? Were you going to shoot?
Man, when I first started, I was not being picky. I just wanted to try to get me a doe, honestly. And then about a week into it, and I had a camera running over it, and I was just trying to play the wind. And I had it real close to some bedding because it's early season. So I had all this planned out. I had it probably 100, 110 yards from a really, really thick thicket that I knew a lot of deer bed in, but usually. And that first week and I was playing with different attractants. And that first week I I want to say 4 or 5 different deer coming to my bait pile, and they were all does. One small, he's a small 6 or 7 point young deer. I wasn't going to try to kill him, but I was really wanting to try to kill one of the does. And I had hunted a couple times, and just never could make it work. Had them come in one day, they kind of winded me, just didn't work out. And then all of a sudden, after about a week of watching the cameras and hunting here and there, I had a dead gum 6.5-year-old tank of a buck show up, and I thought, man, it'd be cool if I could, if I could kill him. And to kind of make a long story short, I was playing with a bunch of different stuff, and I ended up using, actually, as a product, it's called Racket Track. It's actually just a mixture of corn and roasted soybeans, which was what I ended up killing the deer over. And that particular evening, the wind was going to be perfect on where I thought he was bedding. He was bedding in that thicket for sure. And a matter of fact, the evening I killed him, he come straight out of it. Wind was perfect. And I kind of got a little lucky. I had a lot of these deer coming in that were kind of loop the bait pile, try to win me, and they bust me. For whatever reason, this deer comes straight in, downwind, comes straight under me. And his rear end was almost touching the tree that I was in. And I had my stand placed in it was a tree with tons of cover on it. So like when they look up, they couldn't see me. And I had, if you've ever seen any of Tim Wells' videos with, he has his GoPros rigged on the spear. Well, I had one rigged on mine, and I had a GoPro on my head, and this deer was coming in. And of course I'm like, oh, here he comes. And, I really thought he was going to bust me, but he come up there, and I'm trying to get set. He kind of gets straight under me, and I'll never forget. And of course I got all this on film. I was kind of trying to get into position, and I kind of looked down, and I had the spear in my hand, and I had my GoPro on my head was tilted too far down, and it actually, I touched the metal with my head cam, and that joker he heard me, and he looked straight up, and I just froze. And he had no clue. He just kind of looked, and he just went right, put his head right straight back down. And when he did, I had a perfect shot at him, but there was one little branch there, and I had to kind of get it behind that branch, and it caught. When I hit him, it went straight into the back of his liver and straight out the bottom of him. And like I say, he was directly under me. And that deer toted. He probably went full distance, probably close to 300 yards, probably before he actually made it to the lake. I found him floating in the lake when I got down. But so that was my first one, and like I said, it was a cool experience. It was very unique, almost kind of like a primal feeling, I guess. But I definitely will do it again. I don't think I'll ever go full-fledged spear hunter because, I just feel natural with the bow in my hand. I love to do my bow hunting, and and I like to call a spade a spade. The spear hunting was cool, but I did bait the deer under me to try to get him straight under me, and that was fine. I don't have anything against hunters hunting over bait, but for me, I still kind of like that, going out with my bow and just trying to, you know what I mean? I mean,
yeah,
a little more, you know what I mean? Like, so don't get me wrong, the spear hunting's cool, but it's, if I had one hunt left, I'd still take my bow and hop out on some public and go try to hunt me a deer that away. So
were you more nervous with the spear in your hand when that deer was coming in? Or like, did you feel more pressure on you or anything? I guess, how'd you feel compared to a bow?
I was a little nervous because, I knew, man, this might happen right here. This might, this might happen. So, but I didn't get as nervous as I thought I would. But I will say it was a unique experience, and I'm glad I got a lot on film because you'll see it was pretty cool. But I really thought it, like, once I did it, I thought, man, I may not go back to nothing else, but it didn't hit me like that. Like, I would still rather go to the tree with my longbow or recurve than I would the spear, And I think that's just because obviously you're going to have to try to get them in so tight. You're probably going to use bait. Now, I did try to naturally hunt with a spear over some persimmons and acorns and got really close a couple times, but never could do it naturally. Now, I think ultimate hunting experience would be to take the spear in Arkansas on public land and try to get that would be ultimate. But now that's going to be extremely difficult to do. It can be done, but you're going to spend some time doing that. So the spear hunting was awesome. I love it. I'll do it again. I can't wait to try to get one maybe next year, but or this coming up season. But I still love my bow hunting quite a bit more.
How like, is there regulations on the spear at all for Arkansas? Like, how
There's
wide
actually at this point I don't think they have any regulations dialed in, but to give you an idea, the one we made, the first one we made was about 2.5 inches wide and 9 inches long, the head. And then we got to thinking, and that did obviously extreme damage to the deer. And then the one we made was actually a little bigger. It's actually 3 inches wide, about almost 11 inches long, just the spearhead. And I killed the doe with that bigger spear, and I made a better throw on her. She was actually about 5 or 6 yards when I got her. Made the throw on her and hit her absolutely perfect. And she maybe went 20 yards, maybe before she expired. She was fully expired within, I think it was like 22 seconds, something like that.
Yeah.
Like it just let the air, totally out of her. But I have people ask me all the time, how'd you feel? What do you think? It was awesome, man. It was. Matter of fact, the doe, I think it was 2 nights ago, I had my deer burger and eggs, and I had speared deer on there, and I was sitting there eating, and I was like, I'm sitting there eating a deer that I killed with a spear. Probably not a lot of people, left in the world
living right now
that are doing, so it was a cool experience. But like I've said already a couple times, I would still rather have my longbow or recurve in my hand and just kind of doing my thing. So,
how many people tagged a deer with a spear this year in Arkansas? Is there any way of you knowing that? So,
to the best of my knowledge, just by talking to a lot of people through Facebook and all that, I know of personally 3 bucks that were killed, including mine, and there potentially could have been more. I'm just talking about the ones I know of. And I want to say 3 to 4 does. So I'm going to say maybe probably under 10 deer, maybe 10 deer tops, to the best of my knowledge. And the 3 bucks that were killed, I had a buddy kill one with a spear that was a nice, I believe he was a 9-point nice deer. And the one I killed and the one that the velvet deer that was killed are the 3. No, I'll take it back. There's 4 bucks. I know of another boy killed a nice buck. So there were 4 bucks that I know of killed with a spear in Arkansas this year.
Yeah, that's I was wondering how many, people actually tried it.
Yeah, there was a few people out there trying. Obviously, not a lot of deer killed, which brings back to I guess some people thinking that it's unethical, because it's very ethical. If it's just like your ear, if you put it where it's supposed to go, it's extremely lethal. But you're not harming the natural resource. You're not going to have a lot of deer die by a spear. It's just not going to happen. So
I would also imagine if you hit one with a spear, it's probably going to die. Like, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about really, but
more than likely
about that, because
it does. I will say it does some extreme damage when you put the spear in them. I think I did talk to maybe a couple people that did lose a couple deer. They were using the lighter spears. Like I say, the ones we made, they're so heavy. If you get it in the cavity, it is not stopping. It's coming all the way through.
Yeah.
So it's pretty lethal if you can get it in there.
I can imagine. What does it weigh? I know you said it's heavy, but did you ever weigh it out?
I've never personally weighed it, but I'm guessing the ones we have are probably, if I weighed it, I'm going to say, oh man, 2, 3, 4 pounds. They're heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're heavy.
What's a light one weigh then? Like, what, the one that you said Tim?
So like Tim's spears, his are actually pretty accurate. You can, if you're good, you can throw his out 7-8 yards. If you're like him, you can chunk them better. But like I said, mine are probably 5 or 6 times heavier than the he has. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
My new thing that I've been thinking about getting is those slingshots. Have you seen those yet? I think I talked to you about this last year.
Yeah,
Arrow
I've had several
slingshot?
people bring those to my attention. Yeah, I have. I've never personally used one yet, though.
I haven't either.
Or messed with one.
I've been thinking about buying one just to see how, I don't know, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can use them in Indiana as long as they meet the weight requirements.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to check on that in Arkansas. I'm not sure if they're even legal in Arkansas or not, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
the way the law reads in Indiana, I kind of talked to a game warden about it, and he was like, "Yeah," he goes, to me it seems like wouldn't be any different shooting with a longbow if
right,
it was just if you're meeting the broadhead requirement and the poundage requirement.
right,
All right, well,
yeah. So, yeah, I'll definitely get out there some with it again this year, but I'll be honest, and I spent almost full month with that spear, and then once I kind of got the monkey off my back, got it done, and put the recurve back in my hand, it was like, now I'm back home.
Yeah, now this is where I like.
Here we go. Now let's go hunting now. So,
were you shooting what's recurve were you shooting this year?
Last year, honestly, and I'm kind of upset with myself. My favorite bow that I own is my longbow. And I did not take that bow hunting one time last year. So I stuck with my recurve last year. I shot my Bob Lee last year.
Yeah.
And I had a good season with it. I killed I don't remember, seven or eight deer last year with my recurve. So it was a good season.
Yeah. I've been shooting my longbow a lot more this year. I probably really lean towards just hunting with it this year again. There was a stretch of 5 or 6 years where all I used was a longbow, and back away from it once I had kids, and then now I'm missing it a lot. So
yeah, and talking about that, I love the longbow and recurve and traditional, and you kind of asked me about the spear deal to kind of put it into perspective. So last year I went on a out of state public land hunt with my recurve and killed killed a nice deer, and was. You can't beat that feeling. You just can't. For me, I can't beat it. And to kind of compare that with the spear over the bait pile, if I had to pick between them two, which one I felt more satisfaction out of all day long, it was the public land deer, so don't get me wrong, all of it's fun, but that's just kind of how I feel about,
Was it harder than you thought it would be, or easier than you thought it would be?
Definitely harder than I thought. Okay. I'll be honest with you. I was pretty cocky going into it, thinking I was going to get it done really quick. Yeah, just for the sheer fact of using bait and all that. And then I found out that it was not near as easy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So it took, and I documented it all on video, and I'm going to put that out this fall. So yeah, it took a lot more effort than what I thought I was going to have to do to get one, for sure.
Yeah, I always wondered about that. It's like some people, nice people think like they think traditional archery, especially when you first pick it up, like they almost feel like it's impossible. Like if you ever seen someone pick up a longbow or recurve for the first time and shoot it, you're just like, whoa.
I'll never forget the first feeling I had when I went to the tree for the first time with the recurve, sitting across my lap, and I was sitting there thinking, I ain't ever gonna kill shit with this. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
And then once you do it, once you realize you can do it, your confidence grows, and then you just grow from there. And that's what I tell the younger guys. They're like, how do you make the switch? Well, you just got to make yourself do it. You do. You feel naked out there. You feel like there's no way I'm going to get this done. But once you do it, you find that confidence, and it's just another thing. And
it is
now, and then it gets to the point like now, not to be cocky or anything, but when I pick my longbow up and I'm going hunting, I mean, I feel deadly. I'm looking for that 15-yard shot, and but sometimes it happens. Sometimes you make a great shot, but hey, it's bow hunting. Sometimes, it doesn't go your way. So,
well, you can screw up with a compound too. I mean,
absolutely.
But like I tell a lot of guys, once you get good at it and feel good, like it's almost an advantage having one at close range. I mean, like the 15 yards and in, it's like you get your shots off quicker. you're just a little more stealthy with it. It feels like,
Yeah.
compared to a compound. So, inside of that range is not too much different as long as you're good at it. You can't just be grabbing.
Yeah, and I think I got a lot of buddies that are, man, I've got some buddies that are 100 times better shots than me, but some of them still lack the confidence a little bit. Like, so I think confidence is a big thing. I've got some buddies that shoot way more than me, practice way more than me, and that's great. I should shoot more than I do, but like I said, I haven't shot, and this is terrible to say, but I haven't shot my bow hardly any since deer season, and I feel like I can go up there and grab my recurve and make me a 15-yard shot, no problem. And I might not make that shot, but I have that confidence level. And I guess to my point is once you start doing it long enough, your confidence level grows, and it doesn't seem that far fetched.
No, and you get some kind of a weird Zen concentration with it too. Like it almost becomes like part of you. Like that's again like kind of corny to say, but
yeah, I call that kill mode. People get in that kill mode when it's time for that crunch time with the trad bow, and yeah, I can't wait to feel that feeling again this fall.
Yeah. Oh, I have a lot of like one guy in particular. He's never hunted with anything but a longbow. He's in his probably whatever. He's close to 60, and it's like you go into the 3D course with him or a shoot, and it's just like a C- would be how I would describe his shooting, Yeah. But like he's killed 47 big game animals out of the 50 states, It's like some people have that like.
Yeah, and to be totally honest with you, that I can probably relate to that. I'm gonna bring up my good hunting buddy Drew. The first time me and him got together and shot, I shot 3 or 4 arrows, and he looked at me with like a crazy look, like,
"Yeah,
you've been killing deer. You've been killing deer with this thing."
Well, most people are used to putting a compound into like a.
Well, that's what I'm going to. He's such a good shot, and he's OCD, and he's used to, diming it every single time. Whereas I was comfortable, making that shot like that 15, 20 yards. So, it's just to each their own.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's not for everybody either. Like some people probably should not use a longbow,
No, absolutely not. But it won't take you long.
Yeah.
Those people, it won't take them long to figure out this isn't for me, because you're either going to pick it, because it's not a deal where it's going to happen quick. Now, I mean, I'm sure there are people out there it's going to happen quick. Some people are just naturally gifted, but it's a deal you're going to have to stick with it, and you're either, you're taught whatever personality you are. Like if you want it to happen quick, you're going to give it up because it's just not going to happen. So
yeah, a lot of times from what I've seen, the guys that are good hunters with them are like more of these like not necessarily perfectionists, like people that are very picky and very particular about things seem to be when they pick one up the first time, it's like, whoa, like this is like, it's hard to tune. Like whenever you're tuning a longbow, like, half the time you're just screwing things up with your form or your hand, it's like,
you can't. Well, I think what messes with people is the fact that they can take a compound, especially somebody that's, very knowledgeable about a compound, and they can tune it to the T.
Yeah.
And you can't never tune your recurve to the T, because if you don't do everything exactly perfect every single time, your shot's off. So, I even read on forums where people are like, I've got my longbow tuned to the T, and I'm sure they got it tuned really well, but that shot changes all the time if you don't do everything 100% the same time every time. And I'm sure there are a lot of guys out there that can't do that. I'm not one of them. I can't. I mean, I just can't. So I'll go nuts trying to tune one to the T. Like I want to get it close. My arrows are flying good. Got sharp broadheads. I'm trying to get 15 yards. Let's go hunting.
Yeah. Well, when I first started messing with a longbow, it was probably, it was a recurve at the time. I really liked Fred Eichler growing up. I thought he was the man. And
I got to hunt with Fred one time before.
No kidding?
Yep.
Let's talk about that here in a minute.
Okay.
Because that's interesting to me. But anyway, this was whatever. This was probably 12 years ago now. And I got this bow, and I got it off a guy on Facebook Marketplace, and I couldn't figure the thing out, And I was like, I'd shoot like a couple bullet holes, and then I'd have like a knock high or knock whatever.
Yeah.
And I called RMS Gear in Colorado, which is like whoever you looked up on the forum. That's who like was the expert,
Yeah.
And I was talking to Tom Klum, which that name didn't mean anything to me at the time. But he's like a very good teacher.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, man, I have this knock high every now and again. He's like, okay. He's like, well, I'm like it like shoots a bullet hole and then it's like knock high. He's like, yeah, me too. Like it happens. So I'm like, all right. Because it sounds like you got it pretty close. So I'm like, all right, that's good to know. But I had in my mind, like I was about to give up because I'm like, this thing, I cannot get this thing to shoot consistent. And
so I mean, you'll have days, I'll go out there some days and man, I feel like I'm a world champion shooting and then go out there the next day and it's like I've never shot before. So it's just, it's one of the things, and the old cliche saying, I mean, practice makes perfect. You got to practice and you've got to definitely practice more with it than more with the compound. I mean, these compounds nowadays are so butter smooth, it doesn't take a person long to, shoot pretty good areas at 20, 30, 40, 50 yards with today's compounds. But with the recurve and longbow, you're going to spend some time doing some practice.
Yeah, you got to fall in love with it a little bit and enjoy shooting them, which it's easy to do that.
That's what's fun for me is I would get bored with the compound shooting targets or whatever with the recurve. It's just fun going out and shooting stumps or whatever, just playing areas is fun. So.
Yep. I got me and my wife set up a little 3D course in our woods here. We've just been over 10 years. We've just bought a couple 3D targets every year, and we end up getting about 20 of them now. We got a 3D course in the back of the woods, and that's like none of them are over 25, 30 yards, and we just go out there and shoot longbows, and it's what we do. We love it. I mean, the boys love it. But I go out there, I have no desire to take my compound bow out there. Like I don't think I've ever done it before. I'm just like, I don't want to do that. So if nothing else, just try traditional archery, just go shoot it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's addicting, and I've actually got my brother into it the last couple of years. My brother Josh is a good hunter. He's killed lots of big deer, and he just started dabbling in it. Killed his first buck last season, and he knows what it feels like now, and he'll be definitely hunting with it. I don't think he'll put the compound totally down yet, but once you get bit with that bug and you experience that feeling, it's pretty addicting. So,
And I think it's good for like if you're ever looking for more out of your hunt or something, like if just something doesn't, if you're not really into, like everybody loves a big deer, but you're not one of these guys like Mark Drury or, if you're not just like a guy that has to kill a booner, a traditional bow is a great way to just challenge yourself a little more.
Yeah. And that's where I think I've had buddies hang it up, is where they have been in the tree with a stick bow in their hand and they've had that deer thereafter out there 40, 50 yards. And they're like, no, this ain't gonna work. I want to kill him. So, it's all about your mindset, and I'm not, and most traditional, well, if you're a traditional bow hunter, you're not that type anyway, because you're accepting it. You're accepting the fact that you're going to watch deer get away. That's part of it. Where some people, I get it. They may have a job where they don't get to do a whole lot of hunting and they don't want to, limit themselves like that. So I understand it. But it is it's a very satisfying feeling when you do kill a deer with your traditional bow. Or it is for me, and it's definitely an addiction of mine now, and I don't ever see myself quitting anytime soon. So,
I had 1 year I broke my hand right here. I broke these two fingers, and I couldn't grab a hold of a string and pull it back. There was that 1 year time I went and shot a compound, and then those other, I don't know. Then I shot 3 or 4 years before my kids were born. I broke my hand coon hunting one night. I was running through the woods and tripped over a log and came down on it and broke it. And then that was the end of my pulling back a longbow for that season. But so I don't know. I'm kind of in right now. I got a longbow that I like. All right. and then I got an ILF rig that I can't get into it for some reason.
Yeah.
I tried.
I haven't played with those much. So
Yeah.
guys that like them really love them. I've never played with one much.
Yeah.
I had a buddy.
Yeah, I had a buddy that had one. Dude, I picked that thing up and it was just like shot right where I looked every time. I'm like, I'm gonna get that set up, and I just, for some reason, I just can't get into it, or it just doesn't feel right, or I don't know, or maybe I have something screwed up on it too. That's a very good possibility.
Yeah,
there's a lot more tinkering with it, but there's something about like the tinkering that I don't like. I'm just like, I just want something more simple, you know. I don't like bolts on this thing, man.
That's what I truly love about it, is the simplicity. I mean, you can make it as tough as you want, but it can be simple too if you want it to be. And I think guys, you know, you definitely can look online and guys make it rocket science, but it doesn't have to be like that. You can get out there, find you a few areas, make them fly good.
Put you some 5-inch feathers on it. That helps a lot.
There you go. Help you out with your flight, and you know, just start practicing. But and that's how I started. I didn't know anything when I started. I mean, I'll never forget. I grabbed my old man's bow hanging up in the closet, and I went to the closest archery shop and walked in there with that old Bob Lee, and I said, "Man, what kind of arrows I need?" And that guy looked at me and said, "Man, you know, I think you shoot full length arrows with those bows." And I didn't know nothing, you know. I said, well, give me some full length arrows and some feathers. I knew I was going to need feathers, and that's what I started with. And man, I killed a lot of deer with it, you know. So it doesn't. You don't have to dive off into the nitty gritty with. You need the exact. You need 183 grains on the end of your arrow. What I mean, like that, just you don't have to go that far with it. So make it simple.
I don't know. I've been shooting a little bit like you. I don't know, like a couple times a week, not a lot, not like some guys do. But
you're shooting more than me right now.
Yeah, well, I just started 2 weeks ago, so I'm up to 3 nights of shooting. But I don't know. I don't know if this bow I'm shooting right now is the one. It shoots decent, but man, I had this Black Widow PSA, 62-inch, 52 pounds at my draw, and I don't know why the heck I sold that bow. I freaking love that bow, and I sold it. And I've been thinking about, I'm like, I need to find a bow like that again. But I could buy another PSA, and it wouldn't be the same, you know. So
yeah, it's I've had a bunch over the years now, and you know, I've got my favorites for sure. But I do like I probably won't. I say I won't. You know, I do like to try new stuff, but I've had a couple of Black Widows and then got rid of. My first Black Widow I ever bought. I still have it, but then I sold my other ones, and then I really do like the Bob Lees. I've got my dad's still, and every now and then I'll take it out. It's what I started on, and then my personal favorite is my old Toki longbow, which I didn't pick it out one time last year, but that's still my favorite bow. And it's probably more my favorite bow just because I've had good experiences with it in the woods, you know, just kind of a sentimental deal. But man, all these trad bows, for me, I'm not a good enough shot to tell the difference in most. You know, that's what I tell guys. You don't have to have that $2,500 pristine recurve, man. You can get you one of those $200-300 Black Hunter longbows, and you're not going to know much difference. And that thing will kill a deer just like those high dollar bows will.
Yeah, I got one of those in the box. I actually made a video about one of those just to show people, you know, this is probably what I would buy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I gave it away on the show. I just gave it to someone, you know. And heck, the company reached out to me the other day and saw that video, and then they just sent me another one just to have.
Awesome.
They're like, oh, we saw you gave this away, so you can. So they're good people too. I mean, I don't know where they're from.
Yeah,
I think they're from China. But
I've got a few buddies that shoot them, and I don't own one, but I tell people all the time, like, man, get you one of them because it's for the money and for the way it shoots compared to some of these higher end bows. It's a great bow.
The biggest downfall of traditional archery is like you can't go to a shop really and shoot them. Like there may be shops that have a couple here and there, but there's very few shops around the country. There's just a handful really that has a selection for you to go try. And then like for me, when I was growing up here in Indiana, you know, down here, the shops around here didn't even have traditional bows. Like it wasn't even an option for me to buy one.
Yeah.
And then until the internet got popular, you
Yeah.
know. But you ever go to any of the big shoots around the country? That's the best place to go and shoot a bunch of bows.
Man, I haven't, and me and some buddies talk every year. I would love to get up to Kalamazoo and go to that to shoot the bows and stuff, but I haven't. I haven't been to any of the big shoots or stuff. I'm not a big 3D shooter. I mean, honestly, I would rather be hunting or fishing than going to a 3D shoot.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I don't do. I used to do a lot when I was younger, but here lately, I don't do a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of shooting.
If you get up to like Compton, in Michigan up there, and then Pennsylvania has a big one called ETAR, Eastern Traditional Archery Rendezvous.
Yeah,
it's really good too.
Yeah.
What's I don't know, it's cool because it's like it's a really deep bow hunting thing. Like it's not really I mean, there's 3D courses there for sure, and that's a lot of fun. But like they have like the Winslow brothers are always there, Monty Browning. I mean, just some of these kind of legend guys just hang out there, and you get to talk to them, and it's really cool to go and talk to those guys.
Yeah, that would be interesting to go to one day.
But it's still it's still time and stuff away from hunting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna. We used to go to Compton every year, but it's not that far for me to get to Compton, and they changed the dates this year, and I scheduled a dang fishing trip during that time frame. So.
I noticed that down here, I'm in South Arkansas, and man, it's picking up. I'm seeing a lot more people now pick up the trad bows, but still down here in the South, it's not near as popular like up where you guys are up in the North. Those guys it's pretty popular up there.
Mm-hmm.
Down here, it's still pretty. It's pretty slim down here. You don't see many guys. I can't tell you, every now and then I'll see a guy, run into him in the woods on public, and he might be toting a recurve or something, but it's very rare to see everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's rare anywhere, really. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I had someone walk up to me with a recurve around here.
Yeah.
And
I don't blame them. It's tough enough now.
I know. I don't.
It's
definitely not for everybody.
I get it. So
yeah. Like I said, I don't know. This year I think I'm just I'll set my compound up and whatnot, and but I just don't. I don't know. For some reason this year I have no motivation to shoot my compound bow.
Yeah.
It's still set. I mean, I hate to say this because it's not good of me to do this, but like Prime sent me a brand new one. I haven't opened the dang box yet. Like it's been in there for 2 months. I'm like, I got to get that thing out,
And I'm not again. I've told my buddies, one day I'll probably mess around with the compound again and go hunting. I mean, I'm not against it by any means. But yeah, man, I love that. I love that stick. I love that challenge. Try to get close, but it does. I've been fortunate. I've killed quite a few deer with it now, and there are times like when me and Drew went out west, man. I'll be honest with you. There was 4 or 5 times where I wished I would have had that compound in my hand to, I could have killed a couple monsters out there,
Yeah.
But then again, I think that's why I'm so addicted to it, is because that feeling I get when I've put in all that time and I finally make it happen. There is no other comparison to it, and you won't ever know what I'm talking about until you do it, and it's just there ain't nothing like it. So
yeah.
So I'm always kind of chasing that feeling, I guess.
Thank you, ET3. Bring back up the Fred Eichler story, how you ended up hunting with him.
Also, Fred, so man, this was it was my senior year of college, and I was helping a buddy. He had a duck lodge, and he was that week I went to help him guide and carry on, and he said, man, I got some guys coming in, and he didn't even know who Fred Eichler was. He said, I've got a guy named Fred Eichler, and I forget, it was his cameraman and somebody else. And I was like, you got like Fred Eichler? He's like, yeah, he's coming. He wants to hunt with his bow or something. So I was like, you got to be kidding me. He's like, no, I'm serious. So anyway, yeah, he comes with his bow and his cameraman, and we take him duck hunting. And of course, I brought my bow thinking, I'm going to try to get out here with Eichler and shoot ducks. And no, it didn't happen. And now he did not kill a duck, but he ended up killing 2 geese with his bow the next day. The next day he went with Seth's brother, and killed 2 geese out of there with his bow. But that day I hunted with Fred in the duck blind, you could just tell I loved him because his passion was all over him. Like anything that was in the air, he was asking, like, can I shoot that? Can I? Like, he was wanting to kill anything that was flying over him. And what you see with him on camera and stuff, that's not a
show.
That's him 100%. He is all about it. And I love that about him. I've always been a fan of Fred Eichler. He's 100% passionate, and it's not a show. So he's a good guy.
I'll never forget. I've watched all of his stuff, and I can't remember where I saw this at, but like, he had this guy in a tree stand with him. I think it was a guide, and some little dinky mule deer came in, and dude, they were in a full out argument in the tree about him or whatever they're doing, stalking it. I can't remember now, but he was aggravated that this guy wasn't going to let him shoot that. Like, it was a faulty mule deer, and he was just like beside him. He goes, "I don't care. I would be tickled to shoot this deer." I mean, he could almost see him like getting jittery over it.
Yeah, and that's my favorite. That was my favorite thing about him, because I'm kind of the same. I mean, I'm the same way. Like, I don't get me wrong. I want to kill a big deer just as bad as the next guy, but man, especially on the stick bow, if you have opportunity, it's hard to pass it up. And I just love to kill deer. I tell people all the time, you've probably heard me say it before, man, I would rather kill 5 does with my longbow than I had 160. That's 5 more deer I get to kill. That's 5 more arrows I get to shoot, 5 more experiences in the woods. So, I just love to hunt and kill deer. So, everybody's just different, to each their own. But I'll shoot a little one just like I want to shoot a big one. It just depends on the day. You know.
I have to give Fred Eichler pretty much full credit for making me pick up a traditional bow, and I bought it off Facebook Marketplace. It was a Hoyt Dorado. I don't remember if you remember those bows.
Yeah, I think he used to.
He did
both those, didn't he?
Yeah. And I mean, I had nobody growing up that shot him. Nobody. There was none of sitting in the archery shop that I lived by. Like, I just saw him using it and saw how excited he got about everything, and I'm like, that feels like something I'd like to do.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, from there, I met some other guys, and I started going to some of these trad shoots and started meeting other guys that, have kind of kept me a little more passionate about it. But he was the one that got me going on it, or made me want to think about trying it at least.
Yeah.
My buddy went to Africa with him. I have a buddy I met that goes to Compton traditional shoot. He lives here in the county next to me, but he went to one of those African hunts with Fred. Him and Fred used to be buddies back in the day when they were young and stuff. And he went out to Africa with him, and he says pretty much the same thing. He's a character and a personality, and loves to hunt.
Yeah.
How was hunting with Tim Wells?
It was good. He man, I'll be honest with you, I didn't realize how I don't want to say this mean. I didn't realize how old Tim was. I had no clue. Like, he's he's getting after it hard,
Yeah.
We hunted pretty hard. I felt kind of bad. We didn't have a whole lot of luck where we were hunting. He did get a doe the next week with a mutual friend of ours. Yeah, man, he got after it pretty hard. It was just, we had a pretty rough week. Wasn't seeing really a whole lot of deer. He had a couple opportunities with me, a couple does, but he was trying to get a buck and just never had one cooperate. Just hunting, So, but no, man, it was fun.
Yeah, he's kind of a legend too in the hunting world. He does not care, man. I like him a lot too. He seems like an unapologetic kind of guy too. Like, just likes what he likes, and
yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get to this super chat real quick here, Johnathan. Thanks, Elizabeth. You gifted 10 before the Echo memberships. I still don't even know what that means, but I assume you paid for something there, Elizabeth. Well, I appreciate it. What's your plans for this deer season? You got anything exciting on the books?
Man, nothing big so far. I think right before we kind of went live or whatever, we were talking about Kansas. I we did apply for Kansas, and we were talking. I think some people were finding out today. So if we draw that, I'll definitely try to hit Kansas this year. And then as far as out of state, right now that's the only thing I've got going out of state. So I'm sure we'll figure something out. Last year I hunted Illinois and really liked it. And it's not too far from me. I may get back up there and hunt that some this year. We hunted the public up there, and it was some pretty good hunting. So I may get back up there, and then obviously I'll hunt around here as much as I can here in Arkansas. But at this point right now, just Kansas, and then just kind of see. Me and my group are kind of last minute, so we don't really make any big plans till right before season, and those plans could change too. So it's just it's always kind of up in there with us. So
that's a bit how I am. Every year I get people asking me about, you want to plan a hunt this coming year? I'm like, not really. Let me see what
I do the same thing. And I don't mean to rub people wrong, but it's just it's hard. I'm not a planner. I'm not and it kind of sucks now, because nowadays for some of these hunts you have to plan. I mean, I don't do the big extreme hunts that guys plan out 3-4 years, but one day I'd like to, but so I am going to have to sit down and do some planning one day. But I'm not a planner. I'm kind of a fly by the seat of my pants guy, so it's tough to do that.
It's easy to do that with whitetails. It's not that, for me, it's not that big a deal to, you're never too far away from being able to pack up and go somewhere. But I don't know. I hate like putting something in the board or on the calendar, and then I find out on November 1st, that first week that we plan, it's going to be 80 degrees in Kansas, and I'm like, I'm like, let's just see what happens.
That it's always been weird to me when I listen to stories and guys and podcasts and guys talk about going on a hunt, and it's weird to me because I don't look at it like that. Like, I'm like, once hunting season's in, like, it's hunting season. Like, it's all kind of
meshed together.
Yeah, it's all just kind of meshed together for me. So I hear people talk about, well, I went on this hunt or that hunt, and I get it, but it's kind of, for me, it's just kind of all, once hunting season's here, man, it's hunting season. So I don't really know all the time where I'm gonna be, but as far as having anything planned at this point, just I do plan on going to Kansas a week or maybe 2 if we get lucky and draw that tag, but that's it so far. So no big deer picked out. Normally I have some deer here in Arkansas that I'm excited to see what they're going to do this next year and hunt. But I honestly, and I'm excited about it because it's almost like a blank page. 2 of the deer that I was hoping to get on this year got killed. Me and my brother hunted 1 deer. I killed him. And then at this point, man, who knows what's out there this year. So I'm excited just to go hunting and see what we can come up with.
Yep. It's always a good feeling. It seems like for me, I'm kind of an optimistic kind of guy. So no matter what's going on, I'm like, it's going to be a good year, Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm just ready for that first long neck doe to walk out, first couple of days of season. That's what I'm ready for. So
when's that Arkansas velvet hunt?
So last year was early September, and to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure if they're doing it again this year. I haven't really looked at the regulations yet, but if they do it, it'll be early September, and it'll be 3. I think last year was 3 days.
I went down to Tennessee last year and did that in their velvet hunt. It was pretty fun. It's kind of uncomfortable, but it's fun. Yeah. We saw some deer. I didn't get anything in bow range, but it's cool. Just something different. It's some deer acting way different, Yeah,
and that, if you're on them, then it can be, man, it can be hell on them because everybody's and you find what they're feeding on, you can get on them for sure. So
we didn't do any scouting beforehand. We just kind of if we would have, like, these deer, if we would have found these deer, if we had another day, we would have probably killed one of them. Just one of those things where we found them the last day and ran out of time, So I don't know. We're thinking about this year, maybe going down maybe a week or so before, 2 weeks before, and kind of looking around a little bit. Yeah.
Green fields and stuff like that, or
no, these were just like feral CRP fields that they were in. We found them in, which was cool. Like, I think people maybe bean fields, that's kind of the obvious answer to
Right.
everybody's messing around in those this time or that time of year. So this was just like it's a big CRP field, and there was probably like a 1/8 acre patch of woods in the middle of it, and they're all bedding up in there and then making their way out of the CRP or into the CRP to feed in the evening there. But we saw two slammers. Slammers for Tennessee, there's big deer in Tennessee, but 130 or plus deer.
Yeah, nice
out there. Yeah, nice deer. One was a big one. One was, pushing that 150, but
yeah,
they're both over 130. And then there was a couple of dinks with them too. There was just a bachelor group that were living in there. We found.
Yeah,
but it was fun. It was the first time we hunted a little bit in the. It wasn't in town, but it was definitely more rural or not rural, urban than I'm used to. And so,
okay,
find some neighborhoods, which was kind of different.
yeah,
the farm is 100 acres, so it's not like you weren't, in the middle of a big city. You're like a
right,
seek one thing, but
yeah,
you couldn't shoot a gun in there, I guess is the best way to describe it. It was inside city limits.
Yeah.
But so you didn't hunt the velvet hunt though? Are you just working or?
No, I had a few things come up that weekend. I was not able to hunt the velvet hunt at all. Actually, I was actually out west elk hunting, and unfortunately I had to get back for that. Kind of cut my elk hunt short, and then so that was the weekend of the velvet hunt, and actually had a funeral I had to go to, and then so I didn't hunt none that weekend, and then had some buddies kill some really nice deer during that velvet hunt. So if they do it this year, I'll definitely try. I don't normally. I've here in the past 4 or 5 years, I've gone out west on the elk hunt. I'm not doing that this year. So I'll definitely be freed up early September. Yeah. So if they decide to do it this year, I'll definitely be out there.
There you go. Be here before you know it, dude. I'm excited.
Yeah, man, it's coming. It's coming.
Thanks for hopping on. I tagged your YouTube channel in the description below. Do you want to pitch anything else or?
Man, nah, I mean, I'm on Facebook, Instagram. You can message me. I'm not great about checking my messages on there, but I promise I'll try to get to anybody I can when I can. I am going to be updating the YouTube channel this year. I will have 5 to 6 different hunts, and I am making myself put them together and put them on there this year. I've had people on me. I slack in that department. I hate sitting behind this computer like this and editing and all that. So, yeah. But I am going to get a bunch of new stuff up there this year. I've got some pretty good hunts I've had the last couple of years that I'm, going to share with everybody. I think they'll be pretty good hunts. So definitely going to have some new videos up this fall.
Yeah. If you guys haven't checked out Johnathan's channel too, you got some good stuff on there already too. Some cool hunts and some trad bow stuff and whatnot. So, yep, that'll be good, man. Well, appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me, and good luck this season.
Yeah, you too. I'll keep in touch, and thanks everybody for hopping on tonight. We'll talk to you all later. Bye.